Hello again, everybody, and welcome. Today is the 27th day of February 2026, and here I go again. So today I wanted to come check this out. It's like a story that's been sitting right in front of me for months now, and it's going to be a little while longer. They've closed down our road here that I drive on when I come to work. So this is Olivas here. So I come down Victoria and then I come down Olivas. Right now I'm having to turn to go up here to work, where normally I would just go down Olivas and then turn on to Perkin here. But they're expanding this road and taking it all the way through out to Johnson Drive. So let's see what that would look like here. So this is the natural flow of the road coming here by the golf course. The golf course is here. Coming down here, turning, and then going up to Leland so that you can go out to the freeway and to the rest of town. But what they're doing is they're extending it through here, coming down, and then popping out here on Johnson. I guess they have a little rendering of what it's going to look like there. Apparently there's going to be like shops and stuff like that, but I wanted to come over here and just kind of document this. Now, this golf course and then this field over here, beyond that is the river bottom. And you've probably seen how we get rains here in Southern California. We don't get a lot of rain like per year. You know, it's about 15 inches average per year. But, you know, when it comes in like less than 2 weeks, it's a lot of rain. So the road, you can see the sidewalk over there. You know, it had like a lane and parking over there, and then it also had a lane here. They're widening it. So this here, right here, would have just been part of the field. And they've got some kind of a pond there that fills up during the rains, and then it just kind of seeps into the ground or whatever. But yeah, it's going to go all the way through and then out onto Johnson. So what I'm going to do today is show you this end of it, the middle, and then the far end. And I believe there's a date somewhere when this is supposed to be completed. I thought I saw a date sometime in 2027. So for the rest of this year, they started it. I don't know, it seems like months ago already that they started it. But let's go down here to the middle section and take a look. All right, so you can see there's the sidewalk on this side, or you know what sidewalk we do have. It only comes down to the end of this parking lot here. This is all undeveloped right here. They prepared the land a little bit so that they can put like a warehouse or something up there, but nobody's done anything. And you can see how they're prepping what was once part of the road. I mean, you can see the demarcation there of where they've cut the road basically in half, and they've dug down over here, and it looks like they're prepping the ground all the way out there too. Wow, that was all just like a big field that, you know, the grass would grow in the rainy season and then it would die off in the summer. I've seen deer and coyote here when, like, sometimes if I'm leaving work, you know, around dusk area, I would see deer and coyote. But you can see here, they brought in a bunch of dirt one time, and then they did all of their compacting and all that stuff, put in their drainages and stuff, but haven't built on it yet. I think that was about COVID time, so things probably slowed down. And I see some pipes sticking up out of the ground. But instead of the road ending right there at the end of the streetlights and then turning up that way, it's going to continue on down. There was a section that I showed you at first. This is kind of one middle section. I can't go all the way through right now. They won't let you drive. I'll go around and come down that side, and we can take a look at where the road used to go versus where it's going to continue on to now. And then we'll go out and take a look at the other end. I think, seriously, the biggest transformation has been that other end. Just for the fact that there was just like a berm there, and they had a wall up, and there was signs for the car dealerships. You know, it didn't look like there would ever be a road there, but they've got it pretty well terraformed now, that's for sure. So the road used to come down here, and we'd turn here to go up to work. So that was a field over there. I mean, it still kind of is, but with this development, obviously there's going to be a road going through there. And then from what I understand, there's going to be, you know, kind of retail spaces on each side. And you know what's funny? Even though the road terminated here, I'll show you. Let's see. You can see about how far the curb goes back here. So they had some kind of just plastic things sticking in the ground, you know, to tell you like not to go here, that the road turned, you know, they were little reflector type things. But don't think that people didn't go off into this field, either straight or they missed the turn. I have seen plenty of cars, because you have to understand, we're all car dealerships up in here, right? So people would be test driving or whatever, and I have seen more than a few cars down here, because as they're coming down this way, making this turn, they miss it. Hit it a little too fast. Weren't paying attention, whatever. So the road is going to go out that way, and then you could see the berm out there. I call it a berm. You might call it a levee. To me, a levee has water like continuously on the other side of it. This is more of a berm, just to stop the water from coming in when there's a you know, a big storm. So beyond that berm is the river bottom. That berm right there. The road is going to turn and go out that way and connect with the main road. So instead of turning here, you can turn there. Although I'm sure this will be reopened again. I still haven't seen that sign that I saw that said that it was reopening in 2027. I don't know if it gave a date. I don't know if they can give a date, unless they just say, like, you know, spring of 27 or fall of 27, because I mean, how are you going to know? There might be some setbacks and stuff. And I do realize that this is pretty local, you know, local stuff here for Ventura, but I don't know, maybe you have something going on in your town that's kind of like this. This is actually a pretty substantial expansion, because not only was this just fields in here and unused for anything like, you know, traffic or retail, I get the feeling it was kind of, you know, in threat of being, you know, washed through by the river bottom every time there's like really heavy rains, especially after we had some debris. So, you know, if there's fires or whatever and debris gets washed down, it gets deposited, the next rain we have, I think that's why we've been able to handle some pretty gnarly rains this season and not wash out the golf course. Whereas about 2 years ago, the same amount of rain just completely took out the golf course. Absolutely took it out. Covered it with mud. So this has probably been the biggest transformation of all. You see how it's just like a berm with that kind of like section of walls up above it? So that used to wrap around all the way here. But look what they've done. This here is where that new road is going to join with Johnson Drive here. I don't know how they're going to revamp this intersection right here. Well, intersection, it's just a curve in the road, but it's just going to flow right out of here and onto there somehow. This part is yet to be seen how they're going to do that, but this is huge. I mean, this is huge, especially since right on the other side of that berm is the river bottom, which is, you can't, I don't know that you can tame that. It just seems really weird, unless they keep the debris cleaned out of it all the time, you know, so that it doesn't want to eat through the berm there. But yeah, right here is where it's going to tie in. So this is where this road hooks onto Johnson, and from there you can obviously go to the freeway, which is right there, or you can go up into you know, there's shops up there, and it kind of gets you into, you know, one of the main sections of town as far as residential and all that stuff. I don't know how this is going to work, what all this is going to be, why they're digging down so much here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's going to split there so that you can go around that way and head down that road. I don't know. To me, I mean, I would say there's going to be a marginal benefit from somebody coming through this area. But there's not a lot of people, unless there's something wrong with Victoria, not a lot of people just come through this area, right? It's not like you're coming down Johnson and now you're going to go through, wrap around and go to Olivas to go out to Victoria. It's not really a regular traffic pattern. It's people are coming into here for work and to go to the car dealerships, like if they're going to get their car serviced or something, and or when they're going home, right? So that's really the natural flow. If you're already coming from, you know, south on the 101 from like Oxnard, you know, are you going to go through Ventura? Are you going to get off at Victoria, go down towards you know, that part of Oxnard by the beach? Or are you just going to continue on out? This really isn't like a regular flow through. Maybe it will become now, but from what I understand, the Johnson Drive off-ramp is getting a stop sign at the end of it, which I'm kind of fine with. I know a lot of people are freaking out about it. I don't think it's such a bad idea, to tell you the truth. In my opinion, it has more to do with the pattern, the traffic pattern on the freeway than it does people trying to get through that intersection once it's done. Here's another sign. Let's see if it says something about the date. Okay, I might have missed this on the other one. Anticipated completion summer of 2027. Then I'll be able to come from Victoria, hit this one, perking up to my work. I mean, I don't have such a problem with that stop sign being at the end of the off-ramp for Johnson, because there's 2 lanes of off-ramp, okay? And then you have like 4 lanes that go down to 3 for the freeway. So that's 4 and then 2. So that's a total of 6 lanes going this way. And if nobody has to stop at the end of the off-ramp, those never fill up. There's always room on those 2 lanes, okay? Well, guess what? People treat it as a 6-lane highway, which basically just gives them 2 more choices to make, you know, pretty bad decisions for the most part, I noticed. So this way, if it backs a little traffic up into those 2 lanes, the off-ramp lanes, it's not going to be such a terrible thing. It might actually help the flow of the freeway here, to tell you the truth. So yeah, normally I would go from work and just go straight down and then out to Olivas to Victoria, but now I have to go this way. So I have to go down, I guess it's King Drive. Although on our map at work, funny enough, it's marked Sikorsky. I'm the only one that noticed that. I'm like, why did they call this road Sikorsky out here when it's actually King? That I never got. And let me tell you, the road is just getting trashed here because there's a lot of delivery trucks, right? You got these big cargo carriers and stuff. Like, all of the traffic now has to go on this one road. And as you can see, as soon as you turn here, I mean, look at the condition of the road right there. It's just in a few months, this is what's happened to it. And that's not like all of it. This road has issues all the way down. And since everybody has to get in one lane on Olivas, because it doesn't have, you know, 2 lanes all the way down to the end, you know, merging into one, that one section is getting beaten up too. And I just noticed they were out there this morning putting down patches for the potholes. So once they're done with that, I have a feeling once they're done with that, then they're going to come back and close this road. They'll open up the new section and then close the old section so that we still only have one way to go, just because they're going to have to fix all of the damage to the road that's been caused by all of the traffic, all of the trucks being directed that way. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this little excursion. Like I said, it's kind of a local issue, but you might have something very similar going on in your town. All right, I'll see you again tomorrow. And until then, take care.